Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, welcome to Industrial Talk, and thank you for your continued support of a platform that is dedicated to industry professionals all around the world. You are bold, you are brave, you dare greatly, you innovate, you solve problems, and therefore you are changing the world. That's why we celebrate you. That's how important you are in the world of manufacturing. We are broadcasting on site. FABTECH is the location. And it is an event that you need to put on your calendar in 2024. It is a must-attend event. Just do it. Trust me, you need to do this. And it's in Orlando, Florida. And it is October 15th through the 17th. Must attend. Just right there. And we're going to have all the contact or all the information out on Industrial Talk. So don't come to me and say I can't find any information. You've heard him once, you've heard him twice. David Klotz is in the hot seat. Let's get a crackin'. Hi, David.
How you doing, Scott?
I'm well, man. I'm all excited.
Good seeing you again.
It's good to be seen again. I'm telling you, man. You having a good conference?
We are, and I appreciate the support on your behalf and interviewing, talking to our members. That's great.
I'm telling you, I've had some great... I call them technology sprints. So we go to the PMA members, and we just like, what are you doing? Well, why is that important? Right. That's cool stuff, you know. It never gets old. There's a lot of cool stuff out there. There
is, and the metal forming area that we have here is what PMA is part of partnering with the FABTECH group. So there's 5 partners, and PMA puts on the whole metal forming area. And these partners that are exhibiting here have been exhibiting with PMA for many, many years, and we've been in existence for 81, but with FABTECH for the last ever since we've been partners with them.
What always fascinates me is when I look at if it's been in existence since 81, there's a lot of changes that have happened, and it just never stops. The change is always the case, and it's just I just love that energy. And then when you could walk through the venue and you're looking at all of the parts that people are like, hey, check this out. This is a cool part. Right. They're very excited about what they can do.
Well, and we used to do our own show on our own. It was just a metal forming conference, and we used in Chicago. We did it up in Rosemont, and we would do it in Nashville and all that. And then in 08, 09 is when we partnered with the FABTECH partners, and it was a great partnership because members could, attendees could come and see the stamping side, but then they can also go see the robotics side, the welding, the fabrication, because all these manufacturers are doing all those processes throughout the facility. Now they can go to one show, and here in Chicago, it's always every other year in Chicago. It's awesome, and it's a must-see, like you said.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it, I'll sit there and I'll just watch a machine run and just think to myself going, God, how do they do that? How do they make that thing?
How do they form and bend that part?
Yes, it never ends. Yeah. It never ends. Let's level set real quick. Give us a little background on who David is.
So, again, my name is David Klotz, president of Precision Metalforming Association. We're a full trade association based in Cleveland, Ohio. We have a staff of about 30 people. Our membership, we oversee and cover 950 member companies all around the country, in Canada and Mexico as well. And then we have some members overseas in Asia and Europe as well. But 950 total companies, all doing metal forming, fabrication, metal bending type process. Most of our members are family-owned companies, sometimes second, third generation. Yeah. And then we have some larger companies that are tier 1s or tier 2s companies. Most of our members are automotive suppliers, but then some are off-highway and then get into defense, medical, and maybe telecom. And then the association, we put on about 60 events a year, all the way from executive level annual meeting, all the way down to the shop floor and everything in between. So all forms of kind of training that we produce for our members to help educate them, because they're always they're hiring people that have never been in a plant floor before, or especially a metal stamping, and so we've got to get them up to speed. And a lot of our training tools, either online, in person, we provide those to our members.
So let me sort of put it in my verbiage. I'm a manufacturer. But let's say I'm a small manufacturer, and I just need to train. Now I don't have the bandwidth to do that.
Right.
I just don't.
Right.
And so I can be a part of your organization and sort of take care of that whole training side, right?
Correct.
Would you work with me on that?
Yep. So we actually have 2 individuals on our team that can come in and look at your training program, and if you don't even have one, then we can create one for you, or look at and revamp the one you've got if you need help with that. And then what we do is we implement either that training needs to be in person, or we have an online platform that we can introduce as well. So kind of a mixture of both, what may fit the needs for that member, and because they're busy, they're running parts, and they may be very limited of how much time they can spend on training.
Yes.
But it's very important as they can grow in the organization. That training is important. But yes, we can do that.
How does, in light of training, how does PMA stay current with all of the changes that are taking place out there? I mean, you just walk the floor, and it's a completely different world out there than 2 years ago or whatever. It's just different. How do you keep current?
So we'll focus on some areas that we'll speak on, but a lot of the times we bring subject matter experts from these companies that are exhibiting here to come in and speak on that technology or that process. And so you're getting the latest and greatest of what equipment's out there, or the latest and greatest process out there, or how to, so you can stay ahead. And so we bring those subject matter experts in. So we're the organizer, and we'll help train some part of it. We're also a facilitator to bring everybody together.
Outside of the education, which is priceless because things are changing so drastically, what other benefits would I receive as a member of your organization?
Yeah, so and I think the biggest one people say is the networking aspect. Our members, I've never seen an organization, and I've been part of organizations in the past, I've never seen an organization where they help each other out. So we have 6 networking groups, all different levels, and they help, they're peer-to-peer. It's kind of like a YPO, but in your industry, and they go visit each other's shops. Some of them are competitor to each other, and they go visit each other's shop. They see their shop floor, how they're running, and they help each other be successful. And then they'll visit another person's plant, but it's a network where you can reach out to people and say, I have an issue. You can reach out to your networking group and ask their advice on how they can help, and so I've never seen anything like that. Competitors helping each other out. It's unbelievable. But networking is the biggest thing. So as we put on these events, great way to network and say, a lot of times a member will get an opportunity to quote a job, and they'll say, it doesn't fit our needs, but I know ABC company can do this, and they'll let them know. Vice versa, they get maybe a job at ABC, they can't do it, they'll give it back to. So that networking is really strong, and it's always been 81 years we've been in existence. From 81 years we've been around the association, and the networking's always been the number one reason people are members.
With all that said, with everything that's taking place, where do you see it going, David? I mean, where do you see it? What are the people talking about?
I think the need, as this age is less and less people communicate, and everything's going by electronic and text messaging and all that, the need for networking is even more important now than it was. And so I see a continued growth. Our meetings and events are always sold out and have great attendance. We've added 250 new members over the last 3 years, and already we've gotten some great leads here at the show. So I think companies need that direction, because they've got a lot of people that are new to manufacturing and special metal forming that they need help and assistance, either by networking, training, or as our third arm, we lobby in DC. So we're a 501c6, so we lobby. And on behalf of our members, there's a big issue right now, the R&D expensing. Right now, it's a big issue to our members, and we're fighting that in DC to get that relieved. So they have to amortize their expenses. In the past, they were able to write those expenses off for any R&D. Now they have to amortize it. And it really reduces. It inhibits companies to invest in R&D. And so we're fighting that in DC, saying, we got to bring this back to where they can expense that and not have to amortize that. And then OSHA, when OSHA comes out with regulations and standards, we try to fight some ones that are, that makes sense and help or benefit for our members.
I don't see how you can be sort of an island out there. It just seems to me that I need to be involved in an organization such as yours.
I just had a member came up to us. They're a fourth generation member out of Connecticut, and they're not a member. They're a prospect. Fourth generation stamper in Connecticut. Very successful company. Family, they've never been involved in PMA, and the fourth generation son just came up and says, I need your help. I need to be part of PMA because I don't have all the answers. And we had a great conversation, and he's heard benefits of reason why, and either past generations didn't want to share, and some are closed lip, and you can't be on that island anymore. There's too much competitiveness in the industry and in the market that you've got to share ideas.
It's just on a side note, I look at all of the processes of the machines out here that are doing what they're doing, and they're pressing and they're doing they're buzzing around. For me, because I know I'm a neophyte, it's hard for me not to see that as so. What makes that press better than that press? What's that application over there versus the application that looks the same?
Right.
I just, because it's so competitive, you just need that help.
Right, and that's why that networking side of being able to talk to somebody within your peer group and say, hey, why'd you buy that piece of equipment, or what was the advantage of that? What were the reasons? And and then you can say, well, and then another one, why'd you buy that brand? I mean, it helps, takes out some of the learning game and the miscues, less miscues, to run a business. It's
always nice to hear somebody say, yeah, I did that, don't do that.
Exactly.
I look for that. People ask me, don't do that. Don't chase after that one. That's a problem. So with that said, what's on the horizon for PMA? What are you looking at?
So we obviously the fall is very important, busy time for us. Our districts, we have 16 districts around the country that are all volunteer ran by our members. So obviously that's gearing up for a lot of fall events. We're doing plant tours, some golf outings, some supplier nights, and then on the national level we've got our automotive conference. It's going to be in Greenville, South Carolina. Very good turnout. That's our 30th year of doing this automotive conference. We'll obviously talk about where the industry's at, but we'll get into electric vehicles, and we'll talk about hydrogen. I will have an industry forecast person talking about the forecast of the number of vehicles being produced in the next 4 or 5 years. So those are kind of our signature events, and then we get lead into stamping conference, and then our annual meeting in March. So, this is a busy time coming through.
Oh, that's exciting!
And then one of the last things is we just bought a new software internally to run our business, and we just launched it. We're going to start implementing it, and it's a big project for us internally. It's an AMS solution. It's called Associate Management System. Basically manages our association, but on the front end, the member, when they log in, I want that member experience to be easy to register for events. and have an app. And so we're going to be implementing new software, and it's going to be the main goal to improve the communications with the member and how they register, and that front facing.
Don't bring to me friction.
Exactly.
Because I know I've experienced it in the past, and it's like, gosh, I'm struggling here. Am I? And I always blame myself. It's like, you're just not skilled enough. But then like, does it have to be so difficult? No, it doesn't have to be that difficult. It's that important.
Yeah, we'll have some calls. I had problem. I wanted to register, couldn't, and we just said, this way, this new software is going to help us, and it'll be more efficient internally. So that's a big project internally that we're going to be doing.
So, with that said, what's the best way to get involved in PMA? What is the best way?
Reach out to us at PMA.org. There's all our events and information on there on the website, and then the sales team. We can line up a meeting with the sales team. We can go through all the different benefits because everything's something unique for each member that they want to get out of PMA. Could be networking, could be advocacy, it could be training, and that's what we'll focus on.
Can I pick and choose? Can I?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
It's like I could just say, hey, I'm over here and I just want networking.
That's what some of our members do. Yep.
Really?
Yep.
So it's cafeteria.
Okay, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm always excited about this. I am. I'm always excited about attending this event just because it's economy. It's the economy in one place, and you get to see it all, and you get to see the passion that exists with all of these individuals. I love this conversation.
Yeah, and manufacturing, so much reshoring is coming back from Asia, and there's great opportunities for our members, and it's a great week to be here.
Yeah. All right, reach out to PMA.org. That's what you want to do because you want to be able to be a part of that organization. It's a must. If you're in manufacturing, at least find out what's going on over there because they've got your back. They definitely have your back. All right, we're broadcasting from FABTECH once again. It is a must-attend event. Orlando next year. Make it happen, Captain. All right, we're going to have all the contact information for David out on Industrial Talk, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, David Klotz, PMA, Precision Metalforming Association. If you're in the business of metal forming, that is the association you need to be with. You need to connect with that team. It is important, especially today. We were at FABTECH, as you could tell by the sound in the background, and it was in Chicago. You need to put it on your calendar. I mean, it was a spectacular event. Massive. You need to attend. If you're in manufacturing, yes, a must attend. It's going to be in Orlando next year. Can't complain about that. Orlando. So look for that information. Go out to Industrial Talk. We're going to have all the contact information for David, as well as next year's FABTECH, because we're big fans of the event. All right, we're building a platform that needs to include you. So reach out to me. Go out to industrialtalk.com. Say, Scott, I want to talk to you. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. We're going to have another great conversation coming from FABTECH shortly, so stay tuned.